Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys the next round of the locals. This round I was facing a Reiju. I ended up winning, or I lost dice roll, so he chose to go second. I went first. Throws me off curve. Unfortunate. I just attach all the Dawn and swing for 8. Nothing else I could really play. We realized he had an extra life. um, he ends up taking the life. He puts the card back to the bottom. And I pass turn to him. Here he's at 4 Dawn, which is basically range for, Ichiji, which is the #1 play for Reiju players. So he swings 6. I contemplate taking it. I saw the S3. I knew that a Porsche Ichiji combo could be coming next. So I counter out for 2k just to ensure that I can get out of one swing if it is the combo. And Porsche ends up coming in. I put it as active for him. It's my buddy Java Bomb. Don minuses, searches the top 5 from Porsche's ability, finds Gina, which is always great to be able to hit something with Porsche. So he pluses 1, which is a 2k, and in here he plays out Ichiji. Draws from the Don minus off the Porsche, and in here he Don minuses again, plays out the Ichiji and swings 7. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. So good thing I countered out with the 2k just to take pressure off. I swing for 6 at life, mainly just to put some type of pressure. I knew he had the 2k to get out of it. I tap 4, play Kuzan. I end up drawing into a Gecko. I went this route instead of the Rebecca just because it gives me something to swing with, and I can pop something the next turn with the Kuzan and the Sanji from hand. Pass over to him. Currently at 2. He should be at 4 Don right now with all the Don minusing he did. Yep. So you just had to grab his Don. But still in range for another Ichiji even after the 2 Don minuses he did that turn, which is ridiculous. Going second with Reiju isn't always the worst thing, especially with that extra Don. So he swings 5 at life. I give him the Rebecca. Swings 5 again. I give him the Nico Robin. And I'm countering out of all these baby swings because I'm anticipating another Ichiji, which is exactly what he does. So Ichiji plays out an Ichiji. It's like he had every single one of these in hand. Hasn't seen stage 1, so he just drew the nutsack. So he swings 7. I have to take it. Obviously, no counter. 7 again. Take it again. So already down to 2 life, and it's barely turn 3. So Reiju's just doing Reiju things. So I swing 5 at the Porsche, minus 4 to the Ichiji. Again, we know he has the counter, so not a lot of pressure being removed. At least I'm taking cards out of hand. So swing 5 again, gives me the chopper. I play Jack, and then I KO the Ichiji. And here Jack's ability is, rest it, draw a card, trash a card, and pop a 3 cost. So I end up trashing the Sanji, which I thought I was going to end up playing. But I did it this way just because now I have the Jack set up, but it needs to stick. The Kuzan needs to stick and the Jack needs to stick. I do have the Ice Age to be able to remove another Ichiji if needed, but again, Jack needs to stick. If he plays another Ichiji combo, it can reduce it, and then I don't have that much counter in hand. So probably the Sanji would have been the better play just to establish a body that could stick, and then potentially Jack next turn. But Jack is still good to establish because, again, I never know that he's going to Ichiji. So here he's trying to figure out what to do. Again, he hasn't found stage yet, so it's not like he can go fishing for everything that he needs. He's been top decking everything or getting it out of life, which, again, is insane that he's gotten all the Ichijis. Currently at 5 Don as well, so here he's contemplating on how to do the pressure, because the moment I can start removing the board, it's gonna be rough. So I counter out of both of the baby swings, which is 2 2Ks, and then he swings 7 at Kuzan. Unfortunate that it has to go, but I couldn't take the swings. He does Sora. He double checks that we're at the same amount of Don, which Sora is still playable since he has less Don than me. Obviously, he's been Don minusing the whole time. So Sora grabs the baby Ichiji and then he plays it out, Don minuses, and brings out the Ichiji that was trashed from the Jack last turn. Now, the on playability clicks in, and then he minuses 2k to the Jack, which brings him down to 6 and swings at it, and I wasted all my countering out for life. So I didn't take any life, but now all my entire board is gone. So I'm at, I believe, 9 Don right now. I decide to go for Gecko, just because Gecko I could at least block her up or potentially put out the Kuzan, but I end up opting for the Rebecca, and I just play Suru just because I could grab it. I grabbed T-Bone off the Rebecca since I could fish for a 2k, and I swing 7 at the Porsche. I get the 1000 buff for my leader since I have the Gecko Mori on the field. So now, if he wants to save it, it's going to waste 2 cards from hand, but Reiju's not too worried about it if you could do the Reiju character combo. But he ends up countering out of it, which is unfortunate for me. If I was able to get rid of the Porsche at that turn, I take a lot of the pressure off that he's been putting on me, because then the next turn, I could potentially just Ice Age and Jack one of the Ichijis and swing big with the Gecko Mori at the other and clear his entire board. But him countering out of that Porsche is actually very good for him, just so he can continuously put this pressure on me with 4 swings a turn. Right here, Java Bomb's thinking of how he could go about it. I believe he's still at 6 Don currently. He Don minus once last turn. They have 4 cards in hand. Again, the Reiju character would have been great to do at this point. I'm almost considering if I would have swung at his life, would it have been a better option? But regardless of the fact, it's still the same thing, whether if I swung at his life or at the Porsche, because it's going to take the same amount of counter. And it's better to go for the board, since at life, if he decides to take it, it gives him more options with potentially finding another Ichiji or, potentially finding stage and then finally being able to cycle. That's the only crutch that he had this entire time. So here, I messed up. I should have countered with the Nico Robin my first swing, just because it was at the 6k buff, but I ended up countering with the Nico Robin on the Porsche swing anyway. So he swings out completely, and I end up taking one of the hits off the Ichiji. And here I'm trying to figure out how to go about swinging at the rest of the board, because again, all I need to be able to do is get rid of the Porsche off a leader swing, and the Gecko needs to be able to remove one of the Ichijis, because then I can clear the entire board with an Ice Age and a Jack here. I have no other options. All I have is removal cards in my hand, no counter. I've already wasted all of it. Was banking on everything on essentially this play right here. So I go 10 at the Ichiji. Pretty much used all the Don I'm able to, since I plan on doing the 7 for Jack and then 1 for the Ice Age. So he ends up countering out completely. He gave me 3k at the first time, but he needed to get out of a 10k swing, so he needed to add another one. So he swings 7 at the Porsche. He ended up countering out of the Ichiji right here. He was about to let the Porsche go, but it looks like he has all the counter available. And it's already going completely sideways of how I wanted it to go, since if that first Ichiji would have gotten knocked, and this Porsche got knocked like it did right now, I could have jacked and removed the other one. But since the Jack wasn't able to be played, or the first one wasn't KO'd by the Gecko, I opted to do a Gecko Rebecca and grab a 2K play just to give me a blocker and some type of chance to get out of lethal this turn. But 2 ETGs, leader swing, and he could always top deck anything potentially just to go for game. So I need to get out of 3 swings, 4 if you stack everything on the Sora as well. So I have 6 cards in hand. Always a scary number to look at from your opponent because you never know what type of counter they have in their hand. Sometimes I like to bait out my opponent and grab cards from life when I know I can counter out of any type of swing, just so that they swing out completely. But here he's trying to math it out exactly how to go about it. I'm a 6K leader currently, which is kind of throwing it for a loop for him, because if he wants to swing with the Sora, he needs to save 6 Dawn exactly to be able to do it. And then if he swings just for a base stat of 7 for the ETGs, I can counter out with a 2K. So he swings 6, I counter out with the 2K. Again, he doesn't know that I have all types of counters, so he could potentially decide to swing for board, but if he does that, it's a losing game for him. Just because I could put all the pressure with the other Gecko that's still standing to remove his bodies and then play the Jack out. So he swings 7, I block with the Rebecca. At this point, if you see that I'm blocking, you can pretty much anticipate that I have no counter, which is what I think he's realized at this point. So the best option for him, and you're going to see he's going to do it, is just attach 6 Dawn to the Sora and swing. Once you see I take that, it's pretty much game. But again, a lot of cards in hand, you don't anticipate that. So it's just knowing, getting that feeling. But yeah, he's going to swing out and get me with the ETG, and that's game. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and catch you on the next one.